Well, we're going live, and it will be recorded and placed on David and Friends and on my own line. Good morning, and welcome to another short talk, which I'm going to give. The subject is actually based on a quote from George Orwell, and the quote is the following: "The most effective way to destroy people is to deny and obliterate their own understanding of their history." From what I can see, this seems to be the plan of the Democrats under Biden and Harris. First of all, they want you to disbelieve your own history, the history that goes back to the very beginnings of revolution, that deals with the amendments to the Constitution, that cherishes dignity and human rights, that cherishes the right to question, the right to speak, and the right of free movement. Well, basically, what they've done, they've destroyed a great deal of it. Also, they've destroyed the idea of American citizenship by deciding to pack America with hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants with the right to vote. Now, what does this mean? This means basically that they will bus the immigrants to their immigrant shelters, feed them, indoctrinate them, and then when it comes time to vote, they will bus them to the voting centers after granting them state citizenship so they can vote, and basically blue states to make sure that the blue states will go Democrat. 2022. That'll be the first test that we can see if we're actually still a free country. Okay, I don't live in America anymore for some of the very same reasons that I see happening today. I am an American citizen living in a free country. And when I look at my homeland from an overall perspective, I am very disappointed. You see, most Americans only see in this forest that's called America, only see the tree that's directly in front of them. They don't see the history and they don't see what's going on. They see the tree. It's a hedonistic society based on greed. And when you leave America and come to a free country like Israel, then you're looking down and you see a forest. And you see the forest on fire. You see trees dying for no reason. You see the animals fleeing because they're smart enough to realize that they're in an apocalyptic situation. I have found basically that when people forget their own history, then they create myths, and these myths become fact, even though these factual myths that the Democrats are creating contradict objective history. Today is Holocaust Day. Today, when the siren blew, all of the Israeli people stood in silence to remember our history and to remember what can happen to us, what our history may mean in the future. We can learn from this, what it means to us. First of all, the history of the Holocaust is a frightening example of what happens when a people lose their civil rights. It's a striking example of what happens when a culture becomes hedonistic and doesn't care that a portion of the nation is in immediate existential danger as long as they're okay. In other words, in America, said, "I'm okay, Jack, fuck off," is basically what a lot of people feel. And our wonderful Democrats, and I'm not talking about the people that voted Democrat, the people that believe in the things that the Democratic Party, well, it's not really Democrat, the Democrat Party believed in. You're only responsible for one thing. You're responsible for forgetting your history. The party of slavery, the party of Jim Crow. the party that kept civil rights at bay for the longest time in history, that fought tooth and claw to keep people of color down. And today are doing the same thing, only this time they're convincing them to vote for the people that enslaved their grandparents. Very interesting thing. Listen, you guys, I think it's time that you wise up, and I'm talking to people of color. You can't vote for the Democrats any more than we Jews could vote for Adolf Hitler. We learned our history. So what I'm saying essentially is we have to remember history. And I call on the Jewish community that lives in America. Do you think the Holocaust won't be coming to America? With a majority of the Jewish population turning into Michelin Jews, that is, not full Jews, they will have a tendency to hide their Jewishness. But what about full Jews or converts? You're going to have a bad time. So I suggest you take advantage of the fact that the Israeli right of return will allow you to come to Israel, receive Israeli citizenship, and then if you want, go back. Because you know we'll come to save your asses. We will not allow persecution of Jews anywhere in the world. We will take you out of America. We will settle you in the country of you, which is your real native land, Israel. We'll protect you. We will feed you. We will clothe you. We'll do whatever is necessary to save America's Jewish population. So I'm going to close now. I know there may be some people that are irritated by what I'm saying, and there may be some people that are angry. I am a patriotic American. I fought in Vietnam. We got the Presidential Unit Citation. I was wounded, but I also fought for Israel. And I'm an officer in the Israeli army, and I've been serving in Israel until I was finally retired for over 22 years. So what I would suggest is pay attention to your history, whether you be Jewish or whether you be a man of color or a woman of color or just an American. Please learn and relearn your history. Learn and relearn the lessons and apply them in 2022. So good night and good luck from the Jewish state.